the solar setup. The lithium battery is now programmed properly, from what I can tell. High Tech Guy 18 has yet to see that video. But by the time you guys see this video, I'm just reporting what's going on currently. So I got my heavy loads on. I got my high-powered LED lighting on, 12 volt. I got my entertainment setup. Now, my entertainment setup originally would sit... Oops, let me turn the camera. Sorry about this, guys. It originally would sit at 13.12 in that range normally, on a regular basis, right? You guys saw that in my stayover video when I was running the setup on gel mode. Now that doesn't... Okay, that doesn't really matter too much because when I stayed over, it was nighttime and it was fine. But right now, the voltage has dropped to 12.9 as a constant with my new programmed in specs for the lithium iron phosphate battery. Now, is that something to worry about? Not really. Plenty of power for all my loads. Nothing to worry about there. It is trickle charging the battery currently, bringing in like 0.03 amps into the battery. And it's basically just holding the battery at full capacity. And I'm not going under the 12.9 with everything on. So basically, we're in a nice balanced area right now. Now, I haven't tried it with the inverter on or anything like that. I have no need to run the inverter on anything at the moment, so not too worried about that yet. But so far, I think we're good. And it's going to put a lot less stress on my battery than on gel mode in that parameter. Sorry about the crappy camera work, guys. But I think we're good. So we got a fine balance now between the solar, the MPPT, and the lithium iron battery. So these settings should now remain and shouldn't have to be edited whatsoever for 15 years, which is the expected lifespan of this battery, which is pretty damn awesome, if you ask me. Now, with the lithium battery, guys, it's not like your lead acids that you see. I can run this, I can do a deep discharge on this battery if I wanted to. Stu's thinking about 8 volts down to 10 to 8 volts that deep. And I'm like, well, I know it's awesome, but I want to baby this bastard, this battery. So whatever, I'm never going to drain it that low unless there's something really insane going on. Now the other thing is, winter is coming. We're just entering fall, basically, coming up here. And we got to figure out what I'm going to do for running this in the winter time. Now, it has a low temperature cutoff, so it will not charge the lithium battery whatsoever if it's under a certain temperature, which is good. You need that, absolutely, as a safety. Now, to make things not, not so difficult, the easiest thing to do is to keep the battery warm at a certain temperature, right? So you're not running into that and you don't have issues. So that's when the USB heating pads come in. I think that's the way to go. So we're going to use those. And so far so good on my setup. Now, the stats for the firmware update, guys, I put a picture of that up on the community on my YouTube channel. The community, if you look in the community page, you can see that. Don't worry about that because basically Stu, I was on Google Hangouts with Stu, we went over it step by step. I programmed it in. Now when I got back here and plugged it in, it told me this one has to be bigger than this value and this. So I did the minor changes, and hopefully Stu approves that I don't have to go back in and change those again. But if I have to, I have to. And if I do, I will do that video showing you step by step how to go through the entire thing to program it easily. Because it does not tell you this stuff, guys. When you start programming the setup, you start at the end of the screen. It doesn't tell you have to go back to the beginning or back to the finale to start and work your way in reverse. It does not say that. That's why you run into issues. So if you don't do it my method, then it won't work. That's what I found out. It just keeps saying illegal parameter once you change stuff at the beginning. And if you change stuff at the screen that it gives you, which you assume is the beginning, it isn't. It's the end. So you have to reverse and do everything in reverse, backwards. It's stupid. I don't know who programmed it like that. But I think we're good. So once Stu approves, I need to make a little sticker with a check mark and his face on it or something. We'll shoot it onto the video or something. And if he approves, then we'll keep it at that. And we'll never have to touch it again, guys, after that, which is sweet. That's what you want. You want automation is a wonderful thing. Set it, forget it. Forget it for 15 years plus, right? Which is good. Now, I want to give you another update. You guys remember I have the wind turbine charging up my parents' gifted lawnmower batteries, the used ones, to me. Well, here they are. And I'm going to flip on the PWM charge controller, and it will give us the current battery voltage. Now, there's no loads on this battery, guys, just to be clear. And guess where we're sitting? 11.7. So that turbine has charged it up. So I'm going to quickly shut this off because that's a load. Now, what does that tell me? 100% confirmation the turbine works. However, we have had zero wind for days on end, which means not good for charging batteries and not good for off the grid. Now, fall and winter is coming, but it's not good to leave your battery on at such a low voltage this long. So what I'm going to plan on doing today, I'm going to hook up some solar panels, or actually just one solar panel to the PWM charge controller, just to bring up the battery level to a decent level. And then just, that's it. And don't put any loads on it whatsoever. I'm going to do that. And then we should be okay. Because I'm gonna basically top up the battery, disconnect everything, and let the wind turbine continue just to trickle charge when it can. Now, winter time. This will be the first winter with the wind turbine. Yeah, it will. I wasn't sure because it's been so long since we put it up, and it actually is. It's going to be the first wind turbine test over the winter, this coming winter. So normally, guys, the winter is when we get most of our wind up here in Canada, constant, enough to have a charge coming in, which is ideal because wintertime it's hard getting solar unless you have a big array. So this will be really interesting test to look at. Now, it's still nice and comfortable out. It's 68 Fahrenheit currently in the tiny house. Outside, it looks to be almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, no AC hooked up in here, guys. The tiny house insulation is awesome. Works good. Now, another thing. My water, rain catchment. If I'm not moved in here full time this winter, I have to get rid of all this water. No freezing for the tiny house. All this stuff will be drained out, unfortunately. But that's the way it is. Now the other thing I have to do, down here at my rain catchment setup, the first flush system, you guys see him in the back here, the long tube with the hose going through the wall. I will then pull the ball out of that setup and pull the wash and actually put in the bypass washer, so any moisture I do get in this pipe from outdoors will just go back outside. Now the only problem with that is freezing. Right now I have the tube has a little it has a trap in it, so there's water sitting in the tube outside the trailer. That I will have to take it off of there and just let it free flow downwards, so it'll get rid of that. And I think we'll be good. So any snow melt this coming winter, I will not be able to capture. But it will give me a good clue as how much I will actually get, and if my gutter system will survive the snowpack up there. They're black gutters, so that helps in melting the snow. And I think we'll be okay with it. They can only take so much, but I think we'll be good. And that's just the way I'll have to run it until I'm fully moved in and off the grid here, guys. That's just the way it is. So, just wanted to give you those updates, and I'll get back to you guys.